Ladies and gentlemen, today I would like to present about Alzheimer's disease, a common neurodegenerative disease that affects millions of people around the world. Alzheimer's disease progresses through several stages, with symptoms becoming more severe as the disease progresses. This disease causes us to have short-term memory loss. People often forget recent events or information, repeat questions, and have difficulty remembering the names of loved ones or objects. Difficulty with planning and problem solving. The ability to concentrate and handle complex tasks is reduced, leading to difficulty managing finances or keeping track of daily plans. Language disorders. People have difficulty finding the right words, participating in conversation, or writing. Confusion about time and space. They may become disoriented, not realize where they are, or forget dates. Mood and behavior changes, irritability, depression, anxiety, paranoia, or personality changes.
Walter Green, a 70-year-old man living in a peaceful suburb of Vermont, USA, was a music professor at a prestigious university. He lives with his wife Eleanor, and has a daughter who is a doctor in New York. His whole life has been devoted to the piano, classical symphonies and passionate teaching. But one winter morning, Walter sat silently in front of the piano, looking at the familiar black and white keys but could not remember the song he had played thousands of times. He also forgot his wife's birthday, something that had never happened in 40 years of marriage. After being examined at Brigham and Women's Hospital, Boston, Walter was diagnosed with early-stage Alzheimer's disease, a disease that is affecting more than 6 million Americans by 2024. According to the Alzheimer's Association. Alzheimer's does not come on suddenly. It is like a thin fog that gradually covers the mind. Walter began forgetting where familiar objects were, getting confused about appointments, having trouble remembering the names of his former students or the pieces of music he had composed. His family was warned by his doctor, there was no cure. But early intervention could slow the progression of the disease. They chose a simple but scientifically sound approach, a change to the mind diet, Mediterranean intervention for neurodegenerative delay, which has been shown to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's by 53% when followed strictly, according to a study by Rush University Medical Center. Eleanor started planning her daily menu with her daughter's advice. Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, 2 to 3 times per week. Helps increase DHA, the main component of brain cells. Improves memory function. Walter was initially not used to the taste of fish, but gradually loved the dish of salmon grilled with rosemary. Blueberries, a handful every day. Contains powerful antioxidant anthocyanins, protects nerve cells from damage. He eats them as dessert, instead of cakes. Dark green leafy vegetables, 1 type per meal. Kale, spinach contain lutein. Vitamin K helps slow cognitive decline. Eleanor learned how to make a kale salad mixed with olive oil, sprinkled with roasted walnuts. Walnuts, a source of plant omega-3s, helps reduce inflammation, improves nerve function. He eats it with oatmeal in the early morning, adding a little banana and almond milk. Extra virgin olive oil, a complete replacement for animal butter. Reduces bad cholesterol, good for the brain and heart. Used to lightly fry vegetables or mix salads. In addition, the family encourages Walter to participate in activities such as playing puzzles and practicing the piano for 30 minutes every day, even if it's just simple pieces. Doing light exercise every morning with Eleanor, usually walking around the garden. Keeping a memory diary, writing down what he remembers every day. As a way to train his brain. With a healthy diet, persistent brain training and love from his family, Mr. Walter began to change. Less forgetfulness, remembering faded childhood memories, reconnecting emotionally, remembering the lullabies his mother sang, the songs he composed for his daughter when she was a child. Special, he wrote a short symphony by himself, called Memory Waltz, a simple piece of music, but containing all the efforts to overcome the fog of Alzheimer. Doctors were surprised. The degenerative process almost stopped. There were even signs of slight recovery in language and thinking ability, which is rare in elderly patients. A year later, during a spring recital at his alma mater, Walter stood at the piano, He looked out, his wife smiled. His daughter wept. He was no longer Professor Walter. But he was still an artist of memory, of love, of resurrection. I used to be afraid that Alzheimer's would take everything away, my past. My love, myself. But I learned that memories are like music, they can get lost somewhere. But if you listen long enough, you'll find your melody again. The piano played, slowly, with emotion, and never stopped. Alzheimer's cannot be cured, but early intervention with diet, exercise, and a positive mindset can significantly slow the progression. The Mind diet is currently considered the best diet for people at risk of Alzheimer's. According to many prestigious studies in the United States, the family is not only the place where we are born and raised, but also the warm cradle that nurtures the most sacred values of family love. In every family, the elderly, grandparents, parents, are the roots, the living memories of the whole family, the people who silently sacrificed and protected us in our young days. But today's modern life with its bustling pace makes many young people unintentionally forget the elderly not only need medicine, but also need love and timely care. As we age, the human body gradually weakens, that is a natural law. The elderly are susceptible to chronic diseases such as high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, osteoporosis, and especially diseases related to memory such as Alzheimer's. These diseases not only wear down the body, but also cause them to gradually withdraw from the real world, forgetting even their loved ones. But the saddest thing is that many elderly people are not detected early, not because medicine is not advanced enough, but because their children and grandchildren do not really listen. A timely handshake, a greeting, a meal cooked according to a diet specifically for the elderly. All of these seemingly small things are the most precious medicine. When children and grandchildren care about their grandparents' sleep, take them for regular checkups, help them do light exercise every day, or simply sit by their side and listen to them tell stories of the past, that is when old age becomes meaningful. In fact, there are many touching stories about families who have fought illness with their elderly relatives with love and perseverance. They do not let their grandparents live in the darkness of oblivion, but guide them back with scientific nutrition, regular brain activity, and the daily presence of love. That care not only prolongs life but also enriches the soul of the caregiver. We, the young, may be busy with work, study, ambition, but that is never a reason to neglect those who have devoted their whole lives to us. Remember, the elderly do not need too much. They just need to know that they are still loved. And when one day, we also become old, the way we have treated our grandparents, parents, will be a vivid lesson for the next generation. Caring for the health of the elderly in the family is not an obligation, but a debt of gratitude, a continuation of love between generations. Don't wait until the memory of your grandparents gradually fades. Don't wait until the empty chair at the dining table to suddenly realize that you have been too heartless. Love them while you still can, because that is the best way to preserve the roots and multiply the value of a true family.